filming on my other iPad now. I've kind of retired my day one iPad. By day one iPad, I don't mean mine, I mean the day one iPad. That's what I was recording on for many, many years. However, I'm having issues with it. It's like 15 years old. I'm having a couple issues. Like, it's saying that there's no space, but there is space. So I don't know. I'm moving over to this iPad, and I did bring the mic a little closer, so I think that sounds a little better too. Let me know. I'm quitting my job. Not really, but kind of. Now let me explain. This is gonna have to go back to explain this too, so some of you are kind of up to speed from, Patreon or memberships. But here's how this whole year has went down. I accepted a long-term position, not a contracted position, but a long-term position teaching family consumer science. Now, the difference between long-term and contracted is I'm not even qualified, okay? But because nobody will apply for these jobs at these high schools, and they can't find anybody, they have to reach out and ask subs and stuff. So, that's even though they've changed the requirements. So technically, to do the foods, family consumer science, the foods jobs, for foods classes only, you could have worked in like food service for 10 years and have a certain amount of college hours to get that position. But I did not work in food service, so I don't have that. So they ask me, they're like, it'll be for the whole year, most likely. And you get paid a substantial difference to do that versus like a daily subbing and stuff. So that's kind of what I've been doing for the past 2 years. I took it. It was a hot mess. Okay, the foods room had to be closed down. Not even gonna get into why. The foods room had to be closed down. Just problem after problem. And then I want to say like around Thanksgiving, 2 people applied that were qualified for the job. After that position had been posted for, a year. 2 people applied. So they let me know. They had a couple other options that I could have moved over into. But I was like, no, I want to go back to daily subbing. I actually love daily subbing. So it's all good. So these 2 new ladies start, because it was me, another long-term, and then the department head. Okay? So these 2 new ladies start. As soon as they start, the department head quits. Now, she hadn't really been there the whole year anyways. She had been calling off several times a week the entire year. I don't know how any of that worked. But we kind of, everybody knew it was coming, okay? But they couldn't offer the position to anybody because she was still there. Anyway, she quits. But I was already out of there. So I couldn't watch it happen. And then, yeah, I suppose I can teach it, but I have to watch somebody teaching it and teach it exactly how they taught it, because this is not my wheelhouse. This is beyond my skill set, and it's not what my brain adapts to, okay? So, we had to like tweak a whole bunch of stuff, and I had to go sit in, and it was really hard because I was teaching Algebra 1, which doesn't sound hard, but it is for me, having not touched a graphing calculator in a billion years and forgetting all this. I haven't done Algebra 1 myself since my freshman year of high school. And also, it's February now, and they started their lessons in August, so like they've been building, and it's not easy. It's not as easy as it sounds it would be. Am I smarter than a freshman? No, not when it comes to Algebra 1. Okay, so I had to go watch the Algebra 1 lesson, and then the next day I would teach it. And it was actually okay. Like, yes, I understood it, and yes, I could teach it, and yes, I could troubleshoot, but it was zapping the book out of my brain, because it wasn't just that. I then had to go watch somebody teach a prob and stats lesson and teach that the next day, and I was like, this is wildly, even with making more money, like this doesn't feel right. And I had let them know and stuff, and admin was like, it's because you care, because a lot of these people that get in these positions, even regular teachers, sometimes, like, if you don't care, you're just like, yeah, just write this down, but I do care. Like, I don't want to mess these kids up. My daughter was telling me her long-term sub for physics, like a couple years ago, would just give them the answers, like, yeah, I don't know, but here's the answers. But then when it came down to test, like, they were all screwed. I was like, well, that makes sense, because she probably didn't know how to do physics. I would not do it, but also you can't, like, that's doing these kids a disservice, Okay, meanwhile, after I accepted this math position, because they were like, we really just need somebody that's like dependable and that will be here. That's what we need the most. And I'm like, I got you. Like, I can manage the classroom. I'm gonna be here. If I say I'm gonna be here, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Blah blah blah. Meanwhile, back over in the English department, the teacher that I took over for last year, right? Remember, she had just came back. Gets fired. I can't tell that story on here. It will be told in other ways, but she gets terminated, and that position is open. English department, almost exact same time I took it over last year, and exact same teacher, exact same room, right? Like, I've done this. I've done it from tip to tail as far as second term is concerned. Like, I could go do this, and it would be my second year teaching that subject. But I was already locked in, so they hired somebody as a long term, okay? And I did meet him. I had to help him get his key, because you have to get keys to each of the rooms when you start. So I showed him like how to get his key, and I told him, I was like, oh man, I'm so jealous. Like, you're over here in the English department. I was like, I'm over here drowning in math department. So I did briefly talk to him. I didn't get like any read on him whatsoever, but anyway, I see over in the English department, I go chat with my old buddies and stuff from last year, the teachers over there. I saw a couple things. I saw that he was still having admin, kind of admin. I don't think it's like these innovation coaches kind of, and department heads and other teachers in each of his classes. I was like, that's very odd, because I have never got that kind of help. I have never got assistance. I've never shadowed. I've had a shadow, which is And then they finally got him right, and then he's being shadowed. So there's just all kinds of people in the room, and they're not getting a steady teacher. So I noticed that, and then a couple days I noticed there was already subs in there, like subs for the long-term sub, which is crazy to me because like you're trying to get the hang of this, and I get it, people get sick, but you really don't want to miss those first, especially because you have to get those first 20 days in for that pay bump to ever happen. If you don't make it those 20 days, then the days that you worked, they get put in just as regular daily subbing. And I promise you, you do not want to get that amount if you're even doing 2 days in a row. You want to get, I won't do two, I try not to do even 2-3 days in a row in one class. Because at that point, you're doing a lot more than just like, hey, this is what your teacher wants you to do. Do it. It's not just that, but I'm just saying. Okay. So I'm like, that's odd. Now, meanwhile, I'm over here like, I had already asked admin, I'm like, look, if you guys have anybody else that has a math background that comes up that's willing to do this, they can have it. Just let me know. I got you until that, but keep your feelers out, because I said if there's anybody else, they can have it. I was assured there was nobody else. That is the state of things right now. That's how serious it is. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because this particular long term is for 2 months. It's for a teacher that's having a procedure done. I'm like, I could do anything for 2 months, right? But I've been coming home fully. I'm chronically fatigued right now. I came home from work the other day, and I was eating with my eyes closed, and I was brushing my teeth with my eyes closed. I couldn't sleep that night, but like I was shutting down. I wasn't right. So every time the dog would bark, I was like dying inside. It was terrible. It was like, okay. So yesterday, somebody came in and they were like, yeah, he's messaged today, this long-term message today, he's got some stuff going on. He's probably not gonna be able to continue this long-term. I was like, listen, y'all gotta get me over there and figure somebody out for this, because I don't need support if I'm over there. I've already done it. I wouldn't need to go watch a teacher do this or what. Like, y'all could all be freed up from all the help you're giving him over there, because I don't need it. Didn't need it last year, won't need it this year. And she's like, okay, I have a meeting at 2:30, and we're just gonna sit there until we can figure something out. She goes, I will tell them, and we'll just see. And then I get a knock on my door, as I'm teaching this Algebra 1 math review. And I'm like, and I see like a little wave through the window, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, just a second, kids, and I go out. And she's like, listen, this is not 100%. She goes, but they're down there using all their resources to try to find somebody with a math background so that you can go over and do what you did last year over there. And so, like, I'm getting hopeful, right? This is gonna happen. So that was like 7th block, 8th block goes by. I can finally leave for the day. At that point, when you're squirming, like, this better happen, because otherwise it's such a letdown. And to know that I still have another month in this. On my drive home, I get a text and it just says, call me. And I'm like, who is this? Because I don't know why I don't have this number saved, but I scroll up, it's the principal. All it said was call me. I'm like, okay. So I get to whatever, I hit the call and on my speakerphone, and she's like, hey, is that okay? Like, are you comfortable going back over to England? I said, yes. said in a month. That other position